What up, Bomb Squad? Man, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Waiting for them to upload the webinar. How's it going? I saw the light. Martin, what's up? Shop Stewart, Todd Hersey. What up? What up? Welcome to the channel. Waiting for them to upload the live webinar on Teamsters. They don't show it as upcoming, but we're waiting for them to get it started. Here we go. Oh, they're doing it as a premiere. All right, so we're gonna bring it up right now, guys. We're gonna bring it up right now. How's it going, y'all? Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Hit that like button. Man, oh man. What's good, y'all? Got 40 seconds left and we're gonna bring it up. Bobby Bullet said, what is a buyout? We're about to see what's happening with this buyout stuff, man. We're about to see what's happening. Welcome everybody. Y'all hit that like button. We're gonna get started right now. Let's go. Y'all hit that like button. Thanks.
Good
For
evening,
the likes.
UPS Teamsters. I'm Sean O'Brien, General President of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. I speak to you today to all full-time Teamsters working at UPS on an issue of critical importance. UPS has welcomed a dangerous fight to its doorstep, and we need to be prepared, strategized, organized, and unified to take on this fight. We need to be ready and courageous enough to call out UPS for what they are, another greedy, profit-driven corporation. We also need to be informed fully and often. On July 3rd, the Teamsters Union revealed a secret and deceptive plan that United Parcel Service was forging in direct violation of our national agreement. UPS was not ready to roll out this program. They were caught off guard by our attack, and needless to say, UPS was not happy. As you may have started to learn in your barns as soon as today, UPS calls this sham program the Driver Voluntary Severance Plan, or the DVSP. They are also being very deceitful, telling our members that we negotiated this during negotiations. That is not true. It's another lie by UPS. It's another deception to try and buy our jobs. They've also been referring to it as a separation plan, which it is, but not in the way that UPS is masquerading it to be. UPS is not interested in whether you, a full-time Teamster putting in a hard day's work, might decide to retire early or leave the company. UPS desperately wants to separate itself from its legal obligations under our National Master Agreement. As I walk through what UPS is planning, and more importantly, what we have in store for them, I urge you to remember these legal commitments that UPS made to the Teamsters Union. In 2023, the Teamsters fought for and won the most historic and most lucrative contract in our history at UPS. We all know the story. We're all part of this fight. And it never would have happened without the solidarity of all UPS Teamsters and the 176 local unions representing UPS workers nationwide. We extracted $30 billion from this company. We made no concessions, zero. And we got some things done for all our members, including full-timers like yourself and especially part-timers. A total of 60 major changes and improvements to the national contract happened. Full-time drivers would be making nearly $50 an hour before overtime by the end of this agreement. You are the highest paid and the highest skilled delivery and logistic workers anywhere in the United States. You are the envy of employers nationwide. Major companies, including the anti-union FedEx, took a major hit during the pandemic, but not UPS. UPS did very well. UPS made record profits. CEO Carol Tomei has made millions hand over fist. And why did UPS do so well? It's because of you. You embody and continue to the very definition of essential worker. You kept this company moving. You kept this nation moving. You showed up day in and day out, making huge sacrifices for your own health and well being and the well being of your families. UPS benefited from your labor and your loyalty. A dependable, hardworking workforce is a precious commodity these days. But as Teamsters, this is what we do. We give our labor, we take pride in our loyalty, but we expect and we demand something in return. We want to get paid well. We want good health care. We want a retirement we can rely on. We want respect. We expect the same loyalty from our employer in return. And we never, ever want to be taken for granted. Well, guess what? Despite winning a hard fought contract, despite all our sacrifices and loyalty during the pandemic, UPS has decided it wants to sell us out. They think you are for sale. They think that they can wave cash in front of you and you're going to sell their job to them. We are not going to be fooled. UPS wants to sell you out. If you've worked full time for UPS for 5 years, 10 years, and yes, especially 30 years, UPS is telling you through this new DVSP model program that the company has no use for you anymore. UPS wants you to leave. UPS wants the corporate profits to be even more record breaking than they already are. UPS wants to shovel more money to its executives and to its shareholders. And UPS has no interest in honoring its Teamster contract. So much for loyalty, right? So here's what's happening now. And together, as one unified force, here's what we're going to do about it. As I said a few moments ago, UPS was not ready to roll out its DVSP program. They wanted to wait until later this month, but in light of our public disclosures and attack, shaming UPS for its greed and cowardice, UPS is now trying to fast track this plan. Managers and their underlings are going to come into your bonds and ask you to sign up for this quote unquote voluntary severance plan. The first thing you should do is ignore them. But management, as we all know too well, is full of shit. And they're not just going to walk away. They're going to hound you. They're going to come back time and time again. They're going to tell you how this plan is totally voluntary. And if you sign up for it, you're doing in your own best interest. You want UPS to be a successful company, right? Well, as long as you play ball, you'll be doing your part to help UPS continue to succeed for generations to come. This is the line of garbage you can expect to hear. UPS is undercutting you. That's all we need to remember. UPS is trying to buy your job, plain and simple. They are trying to buy your job for a pittance in direct violation of our contract. And UPS has to understand, our members are not prostitutes. We cannot be bought, and we will not be bought by UPS. They either want fewer workers or they want to pay workers less for doing the job you currently perform. That's all this sham DVSP program comes down to. UPS is trying to inflate its bottom line, boost its profits, and ignore its legal obligation to you, to all of us, to the Teamsters. On behalf of your 1.3 million Teamster brothers and sisters nationwide, I urge you to ignore and reject. Again, I urge you to ignore and reject this DVSP program. We don't want cheap buyouts. We want UPS to honor our contract. We want managers to get off their backs and let us do our job. We are the best in the business. We know what we are doing. Our customers love UPS drivers. Get out of our way and pay us our worth. It's really that simple. But UPS doesn't care about simple. They want to complicate as much as they can, and they're willing to try and violate our contract at every turn. But we're not going to let them get away with it. We need to be protecting our jobs, and we need everybody, again, to reject this scam. All of our jobs need to be protected, both full-time and part-time. In Article 22, Section 3 of our National Master Agreement, UPS agreed that they would create at least 22,500 new full-time jobs for existing part-timers and create an additional 7,500 full-time jobs from existing part-time jobs. This is not dependent on volume or corporate mismanagement. This is black and white, it's in writing, it's guaranteed, and UPS must meet its obligation to the Teamsters Union. In addition to protecting our full-time jobs and not selling them to the lowest bidder, we need to enforce our contract to ensure UPS is meeting its obligation to our part-timers. One of the things I'm most proud of our team for doing during negotiations in 2023 was winning the fight to protect and reward part-time UPS Teamsters. We saw huge numbers of part-time Teamsters at UPS get as much as a 100% increase to the hourly earnings as a result of our historic contract. Now that's history. That's monumental. That's something we should all be enormously proud of. As Teamsters, it's not enough to simply be looking out for our own best interests. This is a brotherhood and a sisterhood. We've been here fighting for workers in America since 1903, nearly half the life of the United States itself. We've been here on the shop floor for the entire life of the United Parcel Service. We look out for ourselves, but also fight for the guys and girls working beside us. And we look out for the next woman coming in the door. And we preserve something rare and powerful for the next generation coming up. We're not going away. And together, we need to tell UPS we are not selling out. The first order of business is to tell UPS managers to take a hike. Ignore their requests and proposals around the DVSP program. Reject this plan. Say no to UPS's strategy and to Carol Tomei's greed. Second, and this is critically important for enforcing our contract, be prepared to file a grievance. Talk to your shop stewards, talk to your fellow Teamsters, talk to your union reps, and get prepared to file a grievance against UPS over their rollout of this DVSP program. Tell UPS, bring their issues to the bargaining table in 2028. Tell UPS to get off your back. Tell all those managers to stop hassling you, and tell UPS you cannot be bought off. Fight for your job, protect the part-timers and full-timers. Stand in one united front with all UPS Teamsters nationwide to demand they honor our contract, and be ready and willing to file a grievance should you need to. If UPS wants to escalate things from here, well, bring it on. We will be ready. The Teamsters Union is here to fight for you and to protect you. That's exactly what we did in 2023 by coming together to win our historic contract. And now the fight to enforce it carries on. We can't forget that UPS is greedy. They are driven by profit. That's the only thing these managers and executives focus on. But as Teamsters, we're driven by something else, a little thing called dignity and accountability, and the respect that comes from sacrificing your labor, from putting in an honest, hard day's work, and expecting to be paid well for it. Don't give that up. Don't put your wages, your health care, or your future in jeopardy to help UPS buy back more shares of its own stock. Tell UPS to honor its commitment and actually create and fill those 22,500 jobs they said they would, because if they don't, this battle is only going to get bigger. And we never walk away from a fight as Teamsters. Remember, at the end of the day, we're all part of something so much bigger and more powerful than ourselves. And that power comes from being a Teamster. You can't put a price on that. Stay tuned for more updates on our social media channels and on the UPS app. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you taking on this fight with us. And remember, we cannot be bought. We will not sell our jobs. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So that was the webinar from Mr. O'Brien, and we salute him because he has a difficult job. Okay. And, salute to all the Teamsters, everybody that's in here. I appreciate all the love, but I actually have more. Oh, what is this? All right. I actually have, and y'all let me know if I'm by myself, but I actually have more questions now than I had before the webinar started. It's still many questions. To me, and I took some notes right here. I took some notes. I had a few questions that that I was hoping to get answered, but I didn't really get those answered, and it's still like lingering, questions like, he gave the history, which I get it, it's a lot of history. He gave the history, and he gave the fight they have been fighting with UPS for the past 5, 10, 15 years. Look, I get it. He went over the record contract in 2023, which I get it. I like it. It's cool. He gave it a lot of history, but the questions that we have, well, most of us have, if not all of us have, is, hey, what's going on with this DVSP? You know, um, management today, they brought it up in PCMs, I'm sure, around the country, and people have questions, you know? And so roll it back to last week, it seems as if it wasn't supposed to be leaked when it was leaked, and the teams just went ahead and let everybody know, like, hey, look, they trying to do this to you guys. And so, I mean, to me, teams is doing the right thing, but at the same time, this was a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion. Now, I know some people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. Look, we can all disagree, but if we leaving out of here with more questions than we had before it even started, what we doing? Now, he did say at the end, stay tuned. They're probably going to have another session, another webinar, another live stream, another information bar to let us know what's really going on. But obviously, it's hard for me, and I talked to my coworkers today, it's hard for me to believe anybody just because one side says this, one side says this, you don't know who to believe. Oh, you lying. We didn't say that. No, you lying. That's not what was agreed on. And so it's just like we kind of sit in the middle, like, okay, well, who's telling the truth? Many times it's hard to know who's telling the truth. So we still sitting here waiting, and we're waiting. So days gonna pass. Y'all managers and supervisors gonna ask y'all to sign up for this. And I don't know if some of y'all will, some of y'all won't, but I'm not signing up for anything. And I'm not saying I would, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not signing up for anything that I'm not clear on, because it's still not clear. UPS released a statement. It was probably maybe 35 words, and it's just like an overview. Very vague, very, very vague. No details. Just like they got it off of Chat GPT, which they probably did. Um, but I like Chat GPT, but it seems like they got it off of Chat GPT. It was very general, no details. And so that was online over the weekend. And that same script was read in PCMs today. And I heard my supervisor read it out. And I'm like, that's the same exact words that I read over the weekend as a press release from UPS. And so there's a lot of tough talking. I get it. Like, hey, y'all stand strong. Um, don't bow down. Don't sign anything. I get all of that. I agree with all of that, because why would you sign something if you have no idea what you're signing? You don't know what you're losing. You don't know what you're gaining. There's no dollar amounts. Like, it's contract disputes. They're calling it illegal buyouts. And so, like, we don't know what's going on. If y'all know what's going on, hey, y'all let me know in the chat, because I'm more confused now. And for the people who know me, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know it doesn't take much to confuse me sometimes, but sometimes I catch on. But like, if y'all know what's going on, let me know, because I'm even more confused. All right. Hey, shouts out to the bomb squad, man. I appreciate the love. I don't know. I mean, was he finished? I mean, I assume he was finished, because he said tune in for the next one. So I assume that's the end of this one. So all we can do in the meantime is, I guess, hold tight. Don't sign anything. Like, most of y'all don't sign anything anyways. Don't sign. I don't sign anything either. Don't sign anything, and um, don't fall victim to the buyout. You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm gonna be a little critical right here, but bear with me. Bear with me. When he got to the part where Well, it was several parts where he described UPS as greedy and money hungry. And look, man, look, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. We all money hungry. UPS, trying to make as much profits as possible. We as Teamsters, as workers, we trying to make as much money as possible, most of us, right? The union want as much money as possible. Like, I can't just say, oh, yeah, man, hey, we're gonna group up, we're not gonna pay any union dues. No, they're gonna be like, nah, you gotta pay. And so that tagline doesn't really work. At least it doesn't work for me, because we all in here trying to make a profit. We all in here trying to make money. So, like, that's not, yes, that can be motivation, but that's not at all. Because the union got to make money too. We trying to make money. We get a raise, we happy, we excited. And, we get that overtime check. We hit those 55 hours in a week. We happy. It's all good. Preloaders get a little overtime. They happy about that. We all trying to make money. We're all capitalistic in this. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's not just UPS. And so I just think it's disingenuous to make a statement like that and try to ride on that, because we all here trying to make a profit. Straight up. If y'all not here trying to make money, I mean, why you even go to work? It doesn't make sense. So th- that's everybody, right? And like I said, I'm still confused. I'm more confused. Hey, shouts out to the bomb squad. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for the likes as well. I'm still confused. And wherever that dislike come from, I'm sure you probably confused too, because I am. Enlighten me. Marcus Smith, shouts out to you. Marcus Smith said that, we just getting suspended for nothing. He's right. He's right. I talked with a driver today, a really good driver. He has 35 years of safe driving. He's Circle Abound driver, really good guy. He didn't even know about the buyouts. He heard it from me this morning. And so when I told him about it, he was rather stunned and confused. Um, Wanting to know what's going on. Wanting to know if he's going to get pushed out. Wanting to know if the union's going to back him. Wanting to know if what's going to be coming for him in the next year or so, because he's only has about 2 more years left before he retires. And so it's a lot of confusion. And I thought this would sum a lot of stuff up and clear a lot of stuff up, but it just makes it more confusing to me. Now, if y'all understand it, y'all let me know. Shouts out to the chat. Yeah, so the pensions and the healthcare, that's a big deal. How it's going to impact that. So that's obviously what people really, really want to zone in on, because that's huge. Like, nobody want to lose their health care. Nobody want to lose their pension for the time that they earned it. That's huge. What's up, Cass? What's up, baby? Is this a way for UPS to demonstrate UPSers don't need a union? Look, man, I think it's a lot of stuff going back and forward. Um, it's a lot of tough talk. It's a lot of rather disrespect. And it's like, we still confused, or at least I'm still confused. But it could be a way, it could be a tactic. Um, but when it comes to companies, a lot of times when companies are unionized, they do try to break up unions. Um, and then sometimes unions are dysfunctional. And so, you're a worker, you sitting here like, what do I do? Like, I need direction. Like, if y'all understand what's going on, y'all let me know. Like, I've done the research, but I'm still like, I'm sitting here like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Oh man, it's a lot of y'all in here. I appreciate all the love, y'all. I saw the light. You representing as always. I appreciate you, brother. Todd Hursty, shouts out to you. Marcus Smith, you still in the role? Marcus Smith, you still holding it down, my guy, my guy. Yeah, so I don't know. It seemed like it was a script. Not sure who wrote the script, but it wasn't really, to me, it really wasn't informational. So hopefully on the next video, whenever that is, hopefully it's pretty soon, on the next video, we can get a little more clarification and we can see what's going on, what's really going on. Because on the UPS side, I don't believe that this is going away. I mean, they're going to look at this webinar and I mean, they're going to do, it's going to be the same thing tomorrow, business as usual. So UPS is probably not going to budge. So I don't think this is going away. I don't think UPS is going to take it off the table and say, hey, you know what? Never mind. We was just joking. Um, we'll negotiate something in 2028. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to still push it. Um, and I think maybe the union might come back next week or the week after with another webinar, maybe with some more details. We'll see. But until then, don't sign anything. Don't sign anything. Um, in fact, I actually talked to a few drivers today. Be straight up. Talk to a few drivers today. People asking, hey, what this means, that, like how much they're gonna offer and this and that. And like everybody has their own individual situations, right? And so, you ask one person, they'd be like, man, I would absolutely never even consider taking that. Then you ask the next person, they'd be like, well, it just depends. You ask somebody else, like, well, okay, well, it also depends because I only have 8 years left, right? And so everybody has different situations. So depending on who you ask, but I know some people that will be mad or upset at Teamsters that will be considering taking a buyout. Oh, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, like we can't speak for other people's situation. Just like I can't tell you what to do. And just like if I made a decision, like you can't really tell me what to do because that's my own decisions. Now, in the union, you're supposed to stick together, but at the same time, people also have their own situations. And so people are going to make decisions based on their circumstances, especially at the time of whatever's going on. They're going to make decisions on their own. So it's like, it's been mixed. I talked to about 12 people today about it, and it's been mixed. Some people like, man, it just depends. Like, I got some other stuff I might want to do. It just depends on the number, whatever the number is. Now, I don't know if they'll get that far, but they're open to it. Then maybe two other people say, like, I can't believe y'all would even consider. Well, that's a lot of things. A lot of times people can't believe certain things, but it happens. And if one person got to consider it, the next person don't consider it. I mean, it is what it is, It is what it is. So Cass said this came up. Yes, it is voluntary. It's supposed to be, it's very little details, but it's supposedly supposed to be voluntary. Voluntary. Okay. Yeah, so I saw the light say UPS don't want to pay full rates. Yes, that is true. But when it comes to the drivers, most drivers are already at top rate. Most drivers at top rate. And so, you know, you don't necessarily have to, cut from the top. You could cut anywhere to get rid of top rate drivers. But then again, um, based on a contract, you still have TCDs that they get so many punches, they have to promote them. And then in 4 years, they'll be at top rate. So it's kind of like I don't see where there's a whole bunch of savings there. But I'm gonna tell y'all what they should do in a minute. All right. Let's see. See. Shouts out to Jarvis, man. Jarvis. Am I on vacation? Shouts out to you, Jarvis. Nah, man, I work today, man. It's Monday, man. We get it popping on a Monday. But no, I'm not on vacation. Not till in a few weeks, man. Are you on vacation? Wait, I didn't see you today. So maybe you're on vacation. Shout out to Jarvis, man. This came up in the healthcare sector after COVID, and some took the offer, others ignored it, went away, and business as usual. Yeah, so it'll probably come down, and people gonna be mad. People gonna be mad, but it could come down to a point where a handful of people take it, you know, and you're gonna have You people that's gonna be upset over here, like, why'd you do that? Then these people gonna be like, you know what? I did this for my family. I did this for myself. I'm gonna go ahead and take this because I have some other aspirations. Because when it comes down to it, like, everybody don't want to beat their body up, for 30 years. I mean, everybody's different. Like, I talk to people that just want to do 20 and get out of there. I know people that want to do 10 and get out. You know what I mean? It just kind of just depends. Everybody different ages. Everybody have different circumstances. It just all depends. All depends. And so, people going to be mad. But I do believe at the end, if this lingers, which it could, I can see some people, a handful of people taking it and, doing whatever they do. But in my opinion, and this is valid, if some people decide, say, hey man, I wanna go ahead and sign up, but I don't want to sign unless you tell me what I'm in for. Personally, I don't think it's gonna be impressive. I think it's gonna be very underwhelming, if anything, at best, because why would they pay you a decent amount of money when you're not even gonna do the work? They paying to get rid of you. And so it's gonna be underwhelming, in my opinion. I don't know for a fact because everything is vague right now, but I do believe that people might be thinking big, and it's probably not gonna be big. It's probably not gonna be big. We might not ever know. I mean, this might go away in a couple weeks. We don't know. But in the meantime, we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna chop it up. But I do think it's gonna be very, very underwhelming for those who try to pursue this, and they might backtrack and be like, never mind. Never mind. I think that's an insult. That dollar amount, I think, is an insult. I think you compromising my health care. I don't like that either. So never mind. I'm not signing. I changed my mind. So that's just what I think. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I don't think it's going to be anything life changing. Hey, just stay working. Just stay working. But you're going to have your people that consider it. Yeah, it's me. Shouts out to you. Ricky Rose is in the house. What's up, Ricky? Yeah, UPS is way behind on hiring the 30,000. So 22,500 part timers or full time, and 7,500. At 30,000, that's a lot of people. Um, and we only 3 years away from the end of the contract. So, like, I'm not sure what's happening there. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure what's happening there as far as like what's their plan to, promote these part timers to full time and to hire these people for 30,000 jobs. What is going on? But it's gonna be a fight, and it's gonna always be a fight because people don't act right. People don't do right. People sign contracts and they don't uphold the contracts. People try to do slick stuff on the side. You know what I mean? Just hope you don't catch it, stuff like that. But that's always the case. That's always the case. So I don't have no idea how they're gonna do these 30,000 jobs. I have no idea. And yes, they are way behind because we're looking at 3 years now. Way behind. Jarvis on vacation. Enjoy yourself, sir. Enjoy yourself. Solo Dev. Yeah, man. Take your break, man. Take your break. Oh, wait, you just not taking your break? Man, what time you start? Salute to Eric, local 396. Where's that at? Hey, be safe driving, bro. Be safe driving. So, I just got a text. It seems as if right now, it seems like the buyouts is specifically for full-time drivers. So I would also suppose that includes feeder drivers. But I do believe they said package. You see, and that's the problem. That's one of the problems, guys. That's one of the problems. You issue out a statement and Google Genesis generated it, or Chat GPT generated it. There's no details. It's just like a summary. And like, people left scratching their head like, man, what is that? And so, and like I said, you have more questions, after thinking you'll be fulfilled. Like all of these people either got off from work today or a Tuesday through Saturday driver, so they off today, or they trying to finish their routes, like a couple in the chat, and they're listening in and they're trying to see what's going on. They're trying to get information. And look, I'm sorry, I think I provided more information to you guys than what we just watched, because 85% of it was, and this is no shout, but 85% of it was, what we doing and we're gonna fight and all of this and that. But like, okay, well, when you're done giving us the background, now what? Like, what's next? What's next? So it only says, it doesn't even say in particular, it just says full-time drivers. So I would guess that includes feeder drivers, but it's not even clear. All right, Nino, shouts out to you in NYC. All right, so Solo Dell said he's in feeders. He wouldn't take the buyout. See, there you go. He said he just came from Sean O'Brien Live. All right, so yeah, you said they want to get rid of all the old timers making bank. Yeah, so see, the thing is, man, most drivers are already at top pay. So like, if you're old, yeah, that's one thing, but like middle-aged people at top rate too. So like they're making the same. And so it's not even an issue where, nah, if you're UPS and I'm just thinking outside the box here, if you UPS and you say like, okay, well, these older people are not as productive, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something different. They say, hey, we want to get rid of these old heads, respectfully. Of course, they're at top pay and maybe their production not as what they used to be. Maybe they're looking at it from that lens. Maybe. But at the same time, like, man, I know some older drivers that's some badasses. Like, so it's just like it just doesn't make sense. Well, it makes sense. I know why they're doing it, but I think the approach is bad. I think the rollout and approach is bad. Yeah, I mean, but not just because they're old, because they're productive. Man, look, we got some. Look, we have some people younger than me that their production is trash. But you know, shouts out to Nick. We have some younger people that their production is trash, and it's like they don't want to work, and so I don't know. Like I don't think it's like it's just real tacky. It's real tacky when it's all said and done. It's real tacky. It's a bad rollout. It's no details. It's almost like, hey, hurry up and put this out just to put something out. You know, Brian Brown, and shouts out to you. Okay, you 52. You a package car driver? Shouts out to you. He said, I'm sure if you take a buyout, your health insurance will be gone. A 25-year feeder driver. Hey, shouts out to you on the 25 years. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So people have questions and, they're not saying nothing. It's like empty. Sylvester Wright, shouts out to you. Say, it sounds like they both lying. Man, look, I'm telling you, man. If you put two people in a room, right? You put two people in a room and you're on the outside, and those two people, they come out of the room, right? One go grab a drink of water, and you talking to the other one, and they tell you one thing. Then they switch. All right, the one come from drinking water, Another one go to the restroom and they tell you something else. And they tell you two separate things. You don't know who's telling the truth. Or if you're talking to them together, you wasn't in the room and they're both saying two different things. So who do you believe? Because it could be one that you trust more than the other one, but they could be lying to you too. It's like, so when people go and, behind closed doors and negotiate and stuff, and just like, oh, well, they lying, well, they said this, we agreed on this. Like, okay, well, it's in writing, and it's crazy because I talked about this a few minutes ago. Like, even when something is in writing, like, people still violate. People still go against contracts even though it's written. And they will try. That's why you have attorneys, you know, because people always trying to get over. But yeah. Solo Dev said we got a feeder driver here that's been working since 1973. He's number one as far as seniority in the district. Dang. Woo, number one in the district. That's wild. Been driving since 73. I wasn't even born yet. Sheesh. John Ravens. But some of these dudes need to retire. Yeah, man. Yeah, I had a buddy retired. It was either last year or the year before. He might be watching too. I mean, he was 55, but he was like, I'm good. And he was out. And he was out the first time he said he was out. He's like, hey, I'm out in 2 months. And guess what? That 2 months came, he was gone. It wasn't no like, hey man, I'm gonna do one more year, watch me. And then a year comes and 2 year comes, they still hanging around. But yeah, you're right, John. A lot of these dudes need to retire, respectfully. Um, like, you have a life to live, you know, after retirement. So do your time and dip. That's what I would do. Yaya, shouts out to you. Say you don't trust anybody, not even yourself. Yaya doesn't even trust himself, y'all. If you don't trust yourself, Yaya, how I'm gonna trust you, big dog? How I'm gonna trust you? Man, Sylvester Rice said they should put a cap on. Man, look, we had this conversation. Me and some guys had this conversation, man. And it's a sensitive topic. It's a sensitive topic on putting a cap on how long people could work or when they should retire, any kind of forced retirement. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's sensitive. That's almost as sensitive as like race or politics or stuff like that. Man, you telling people like, hey, look, once you hit this, you gotta go. Man, people not trying to hear that. People not trying to hear that. Hey, we could talk about that though. I don't mind talking about it because I think it's valid. Yeah, I think it's valid. After what I seen a few years ago, definitely need to be a cap. Yeah, I won't go into details tonight, but we talked about it before. But after what I seen a few years ago, it should be a cap on age or a certain point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because at this point, it becomes a safety issue, in my opinion. And so yeah, yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with that. Buddy Franco, he said he got 13 years in the company. If the buyout is good, he'll take. Okay, buddy, I got a question, buddy. What you going for? What you going for, buddy? If they take that carrot and wave it in front of your face, what it got to look like? Let me know. Because I mean, I do believe everybody has a number. You know, everybody. Buddy, what you going for? Jay Savoy said if the offer is good, he said he's out. uh, about 25% of the people I spoke with today about it in person, 25% said they would be out if the money was right or whatever. But they didn't say. But you know, Marcus Smith says like telling your 90-year-old mom stop driving. Man, but they definitely should go and retake the license test or the driving test or something like that. I think at 60, hey, go retake the test. But, you know, a buddy say whatever covers his mortgage. Okay. All right, so if you owe 350 on your mortgage and they drop 350 on you, you out? That mortgage, man, that's a monkey off your back for real, for real. Yeah, we are fighting technology. I mean, but technology is good though. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, society is is fighting technology. But yes, yeah, the whole technology aspect of it, it's it definitely adds layers. But solo dev, yeah, man, draw that pension and Social Security. Yeah, hopefully, Social Security is still funded by the time we trying to look at it. Yeah, so they laying off. Yeah, so it's 20,000 job cuts. Um, yeah, yeah. It's a mess, y'all. It's a mess. It was the 12,000 last year. Then you're looking at the 12,000 was management last year. Now you're looking at 20,000 this year. Um, it's probably both management and union, but and now you're talking about they're throwing this buyout stuff, which is it's so tacky, but it's like, has you ever seen somebody run a race and like they break a leg or something and they crawl across the finish line or they barely make it? That's almost seemed like this rollout is. It's just real tacky, just real not thought out, a little to no details, and you think people supposed to react to it, man. And so when they said it was going to read it at PCM this morning, I said, read what? Like, because if it's what I read over the weekend, that's nothing. It's just like a press release. It was whack. But oh, Eric said 100 G's, he out. Man, 100 G's? That's it. 100,000. Y'all out for 100,000, man. That 20,000, from what I understood, it was for the United States. From what I understood, David. But it say 50K put into your mortgage, lower my payment, and I can't find another job. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is already before all of this weird stuff is going on, it's already, volume is already down this year. We already know that. And so, people at the bottom, they're not driving anyways. And so as far as the 20,000, I think people at the bottom is already a part of the 20,000. Like you have to count those people, right? And so we have a few of our TCDs. They drive, a couple of days a week, but we have some, that newly promoted to TCDs over the Christmas break, over the Christmas holidays, and like they drive once a week. They work inside the rest of the week, but um, and so the bottom drivers, it has to be part of that 20,000 because it just has to be. Um, and then I mean, I can really see as far as management in my building, they can't trim the more management. They're running as thin. I mean, they're thin right now. Like I'm talking about barely holding on. Like don't let somebody get sick or go on vacation. It's like a skeleton crew. And then like, the people in the office, man, we lost just in our office last year, we lost like 8 or 9 people. And so it's thin right now. So one person gets sick, it's just like, yeah. Yeah, so is the 20,000, does that include the management buyout? Yes, I do believe so. I do believe so. So the management buyouts, at first, they started with the first round this year was like, hey, we're gonna let you know if we offer you something. And so like that was the first round. And so certain people got offered stuff. And then if you did not get offered something, you got to put in a request in order to get offered something. So, I know a couple of people that actually put in wanted to take one. So I'm not sure how that went. Um, but it is some people that wanna fly away. They want to fly away and go touch the stars or something. I don't know, but until we get more details, we don't know what's going on this front. We have no idea what's going on. Man, what's up with everybody leaving for 100,000? Benefits for life for 100,000? Ooh wee. Man, y'all don't want to know my number. I told my number to two people today. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I would take it, but we all have a number. We all have a number. So whether we want to admit it or not, you know, there is a dollar amount that we will all say, you know what? Yo, I think I'm good. I have other things I want to do. I could pay this off. I could do that. I could do this. I could do that. So yeah. But yeah, I told two people my number today. Like I won't say what it is, but it's what it is. I mean, so whether we want to admit it or not, we all have a number. We all have a number. But 100,000, I just think if I'm a part timer, I don't know if I'm taking 100,000. I don't know if I'm taking 100,000, man. But I know some people that would, and that's cool. I mean, everybody have different situations. Everybody have different goals in life. Look, I get it, and so, man, look, if somebody's willing to take 100K, and UPS is willing to give that person 100K, I say y'all meet up, sign the paperwork, go for it. Are y'all both happy? If y'all both good with it, go for it. And now people will say like, oh man, we got to stick together. I'm like, yeah, to a certain degree, yes, I agree. But at the same time, we all have different lives. We all have different responsibilities, and we have to do what's best for us and our families and our situations and all of that. So, just it is what it is. Yeah, Sylvester Rice. So yeah, it does look like they're trying to split the number. Yeah, man, I don't know what they're trying to do, man. It's like mental gymnastics. Like, well, these numbers here, well, we're gonna do this, we're gonna subtract this, then we're gonna add this maybe, then we're gonna subtract some more, then we might add some more, or we might do this, we might do that. It's like, yo, what is going on? And then the environment is so crazy. I wanted to get to the FedEx financial report last week, but I didn't get to it, or the week before. But it's just like we got to get to that because look, it's a struggle in this industry right now. It's a struggle, and so like we have these jobs. And it's not everybody, but a lot of us take it for granted because like it's rough right now. Like it's rough right now for these companies. And then people say, oh, well, they make millions of dollars. Well, yeah, that's true. At the same time, we make well too, but at the same time, like it's a struggle. So if UPS is in desperation mode, which I think FedEx is too, well, it's proven that they are too, like they're in desperation mode. Like they would think of anything, do anything. Hey, Chat GPT, hey, how to save some money. We need to save like 2 billion next quarter, and next thing Chat GPT talking about a buyout. You know what I'm saying? Like, so desperation. um and then it definitely sounds like it's a violation of the contract. So how they gonna work that out, I have no idea. But at the same time, it's like they going around Teamsters try to, you know, circumvent the process and go around and try to, you know, catch some people slipping, which I'm sure they will, but you know. Yeah, everybody want a big amount. Everybody want a big amount. And like I had the example today, like I told the driver today, and I'm like, you know, yes, if somebody wants like, you know, let's say a driver make 80,000 a year, you know, on average, you know, particular driver make 80,000 a year, you know, and they want, I don't know, 5 years of pay, you know, which is what, $400,000. So I'm just using these numbers as an example. These are big numbers, but I'm just using these for an example. So why would they pay you for 5 years of pay when you're not even going to work the 5 years? You know what I mean? It has to be like a going away gift, you know, that you would obviously make more if you actually did the work. So it has to be less. You know what I mean? Because let's say 5 years of work, oh, we're gonna pay you for 5 years. Like that's stupid because like you might not even work 5 years. You might not even make it 5 years, you know? Like you might get fired and never come back after 1 year. So like why would they pay you for 5 years knowing they're not gonna get any labor from you? And if they didn't buy you out, it's not even a guarantee that you would even work 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people think like, oh man, you know, they give me this, I'll go. I'm like, yeah, I understand, but they probably won't. Most likely they won't. But I'm gonna tell you my number, they probably like, oh hell nah. Shit. Nope. You better take some zeros off of that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, to each his own. To each his own. But it'll be low compared to what people think they should get, if y'all get what I'm saying. Because it's just not like you can't give that kind of money out, you know, like monopoly money. You really trying to go broke. For real. Okay, so Brian says, in my case, he got 26 years full time. He's 52, right? He can't get Social Security till he's 67. He can't start a new career now. So he ride into 31 years. He'll be 57 if they can't afford my buyout. Hey, shouts out to you, man. And they probably don't want to afford it either. Like they don't want to. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even benefit them to. I mean, it wouldn't even benefit them to pay anybody if you ask me. But you know, it's just my opinion. Like I don't see where the company would hugely benefit by getting people out. Um, yeah, I don't know. I saw the light say 100 G's in a flight to Vegas. Man, hey, can y'all throw in some concert tickets or something? Or I mean, throw in some shows or something like that, or some chips to the casino. Throw something in, man. 100,000 in a flight, and hopefully it's round trip, man. Don't let them do a one way on you. Don't let them do you like that. Sylvester said they might try progression for buyout, 50 to 60K to 3 years, and then up the price after they gain the numbers back. Okay. Well, we got some thinkers in here. I like that. I like that. Ooh, man. 50K, 60K. Yeah, so they're not talking about part timers just yet. They're only talking about full time. So UPS Josh said he got 20 years left. He need 4 million. Josh said he need 4 million. Oh, to even man, he said Josh, Josh, Josh. You saying you need 4 million to consider? Mm. Josh, let's be real, bro. Hey, let's be real. Let's be real, Josh. If they pulled up, oh no, no. If they pull up to your house, they'll pick you up in a limousine, Josh, and say, "Look, man, we got the money bag, we got the suitcase. Look, we got the 4 million right now. We're gonna take you to lunch. We're gonna take you to Ruth Chris. We're gonna treat you good. We're gonna feed you. You know what I'm saying? We'll take you shopping, and we got this 4 million for you." You mean to tell me, Josh, you're not gonna take it? You're gonna still consider it? Man, come on, bro. Yeah, look, I understand. Look, no more insurance, no more pension. Look, I get it, but if you got 4 million up front, man, I don't know, man. Yeah, man, 4 million is crazy. Like, I don't know who would turn that down. And Marcus Smith said 4 million. Where do he sign? Look, man, if they offer me, look, Josh, if they offer me 4 million, bro, I'm like, all right, y'all pick me up. Okay, I see the money right there, but like, is this a setup? Is this a setup? Because I would think it's a setup, straight up. But on the real, like 4 million is crazy. You say you'll take four? Okay. What about two? You take 2 mil up front. Up front. So UPS. Okay. So Josh said, how much do you want for all the time you put in realistically? Okay. So the time that I put in, and this is just for me personally, right? The time that I put in, I've been compensated for most of that time, right? The only other compensation for the time that I already put in is through a pension, right? So like, that'll come later on, but at the same time, like, I've been compensated for more for most of my time that I already put in. So the time I haven't put in yet, of course, I haven't worked it yet, so of course I can't count that. But the time I already put in, yeah, I've been paid mostly for it, outside of my pension, in my opinion, yeah. So it's more or less for, if you're gonna pay me to leave, like, I need to get paid to leave. It's the work that I'm not gonna do, or the time that I'm not gonna do, not for the time that I've been here. If that makes sense. So I mean, like, a buyout is not for the time you've been there; it's for the time you won't be there. I'll say Crispy says, Crispy Cappuccino. That's a cool name. It said my boyfriend is in car wash here in VA, and he was offered a buyout today. So what'd he do, Crispy? Oh, so Josh said put a number I consider. Um, am I frozen? Hold up, hold up, hold up. Damn, frozen. We back, y'all. We back. Hey, y'all, let me know if we back, y'all. Let me know if we back. All right. I don't know what's up. Let's try to get this going here. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. What I miss? Sorry about that, y'all. Camera froze up. Let's see. Oh, hold on, y'all.